Hello students, in this video we're going to learn how to do factorization of the quadratic equation using the box method. Do get ready a pen and some papers and practice along with me. Let's look at different methods we can use to solve an equation. If it is a linear equation, what do you mean by saying it is a linear equation? A linear equation is where the highest power of the variable x is 1. And to solve it, this is how we do it. If it's a nonlinear, which means it could be a quadratic equation, and here we're dealing with quadratic equations only, where the highest power is 2, in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. Then there's several ways to factorize the given equations before we solve it. One way is to factorize it using the box method. A second way is from the given equation, we actually factorize it using this method called completing the square. And of course, we can use the quadratic formula to solve the quadratic equation. Let's do a recap on how we can use the box method to factorize x squared minus 7x minus 8. First of all, let's look at the constant negative 8. Negative 8 is equivalent to negative 4 times 2, equivalent to 4 times bracket negative 2, is equivalent to negative 1 times 8, or 1 times bracket negative 8. Right. Since we're using the box method, we need a box. So we're going to divide this box into four small boxes. How are we going to label it? Okay, we're going to fill in the first box as x squared, the constants as negative 8 diagonally, right? And then the next thing is to get x squared. How do we get x squared? Yes, we need x times x to get x squared. So x squared is just basically x multiplied with x. Right, and then the next step now is we need to fill in the different possibility for negative 8. So negative 8 can be negative 4 times 2. Or it can be 4 times bracket negative 2 or negative 1 times 8. So I'm using this third choice first, where I place, oh no, not the third choice, the fourth choice, where I placed 1 below the x and negative 8 beside the x. Alright, then the next thing is that I need to fill in the value here. So how do I get this value? To get this value, basically, is just taking x multiplied by negative 8. So x multiplied by negative 8 will give you negative 8x. And then to find the values for this box here, you just need to take 1 multiply with x. And of course, 1 times x will give you x. So this is one possibility. Right, so factorization using the box method, it's a bit like try and error. You need to come up with different combinations, and then you choose the one that gives you the correct answer. So it can also be this combination instead of x squared obviously is just x times x. Sorry, I should not use the word obviously. X squared is definitely just x times x. But we can write negative 8 as negative 1 times 8, right? And with that, you give us 8x and negative x. It can be this combinations also, or it can be the other combinations where it is 4 and negative 2, because 4 times negative 2 gives you negative 8, right? So that will give you this combination, or it could be this combination. So which one will give you the correct answer? So get the correct answer, the key concept here is, yes, the one that I highlighted for you. You need to find the value for that two terms there, because the value for the two terms will give you the answer for the middle term in the quadratic expression. So for the first example, x minus 8x, that gives you negative 7x. And then for the second one, 8x minus x will give you 7x. Third one, 4x minus 2x will give you 2x. And then the last one will give you 2x also. So which one is the correct answer? Yes, the correct answer will be the first one. Right, that will be the correct answer. So what are the linear factors then? So the linear factors will be x minus 8 and x plus 1 equals to 0. And we can apply the zero product property. The zero product property, which is AB is equal to 0. So therefore, A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0. And that will give you x equals to 8 or x equals to negative 1. So this is how we use the boxed method. All right, let's look at the next questions. First of all, that's a 0 into this negative 4. So what are the factors of negative 4? Yeah, so negative 4 is equivalent to negative 4 times 1, equivalent to negative 1 times 4, 2 times 2, negative 2 times 2, or 2 times bracket negative 2. Okay, so this are how we can rewrite negative 4. So first of all, we will need a box. Right, so for the first box at the corner, we will fill in 2y squared. And then diagonally, we'll fill in negative 4 here. So in other words, the 2y squared will come here, and then negative 4 will come here. So this is important. It's the positions where 2y squared and negative 4, the positions where they are supposed to be put in are important. Right, so the next step is, so 2y squared. Okay, there's several ways that we can rewrite 2y squared. Can be 2y multiplied with y or y times 2y squared, right? Okay, so we're just going to use the try and error. This box method is basically try and error. So I'm just going to try putting y here and then 2y. All right, because y multiplied with 2y will give me 2y squared. Oh, sorry, there's a mistake here. There's no. Okay, then the next thing is negative 4. You can rewrite it as negative 4 times 1. So I'm just going to put negative 4 here and then 1, right? So to get this box here is just taking y times 1, that gives you y. And to get this box here is just negative 4 times 2y, gives you negative 8y. All right, so to get the middle term, just find the values of these, which give me negative 7y. And we just hit the jackpot the first time. So sometimes it's if you have, just honestly, I didn't know how to do this question. Okay, I just randomly put negative 4 here in 1, and then that's it, we get the answer. So the factors will be 2y plus 1 and y minus 4 equals to 0. So we use the AB 0 property. So it can be 2y plus 1 equals to 0, or y minus 4 equals to 0. So that will give us 2y equals to negative 1, y equals to negative half, or y equals to 4. Okay, and this is how we do it. Right, let's look at the next example. Supposing we are asked to solve the equation 2y squared plus 3y minus 20 equals to 0. So negative 20 can be written as negative 4 times 5, 4 times bracket negative 5, negative 2 times 10, or 10 times bracket negative 2. Right, so let's start off with having a box, and then let's fill in all the, put it in the correct position. Okay, I'm using, which option is that? I'm using this option first, where I put my 5 here and negative 4. So that 5 times negative 4 give me 20. And then y times y, 2y give me 2y squared. And y times negative 4 will give me negative 4y. And 5 times 2y will give me 10y. Okay, let me repeat how we get all this value again. Y multiplied with 2y will give you 2y squared. Okay. And then y multiplied with negative 4 will give you negative 4y. 5 multiplied with 2y will give you 10y. And 5 times negative 4 will give you negative 20. Okay. So it can also be this arrangement, because 4 times negative 5 will also give you negative 20. It can be this arrangement, 10 times negative 2 will give you negative 20, or this arrangement. So which one is the correct solution? Yes. The value of these two this diagonal, the value of these two terms is important, because that will give us the value for our middle term here. And if you were to work out 10 minus 4y gives you 6y, 8y minus 5y gives you 3y, 20 minus 2y gives you 18y, negative 20y plus 2y gives you negative 18y. So which one is the correct answer? Yes, this will be your correct answer. So therefore, the two linear factors will be 2y plus 5 which is plain here, and to y plus 4. Okay, and then you apply the AB zero product property to solve for the values of y. After learning how to use the box method to factorize the quadratic expression, okay, let's make use of it. Okay, do try to do these questions, and if you face problem, then you may want to look at the solutions, but try it first. Right, for mastery of the concept, it's advisable to do at least 2 to 3 questions. So you may want to try doing this. And then if you face problems, this is the solution. Right, happy learning.